Good morning and welcome to Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes and my co-host, Ms. Rebecca Hicks. I want to thank you so very much for joining us this morning. Get your coffee ready. Thank you for allowing us to come into your home and to your office this morning. We're so grateful. I hope that you've been enjoying the shows up to now. Thank you very much for your emails. They've been very, very gracious. Thanks so much. Once again, if you're our first-time viewers, this program is about arming you with information about if you want to start a business, if you already have a business, and how to elevate it. One of the things that we notice statistically is with more people retiring, they're looking at buying franchises. So we look at what franchises are friendly to minorities, to veterans, to women. What about loans? Where do I find money for that? So we address many, many topics that are of tremendous interest to you and I'm sure very helpful. And instead of going to all those thousands of websites to find that information, all you have to do is come here every Saturday morning at Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes and listen to us, because we're going to bring you some of the experts in the industries every week. My co-host, Ms. Rebecca Hicks, has tolerated me for about 5 or 6 months. So good morning, Rebecca. How are you?
Good morning to you, and you have tolerated me as well. Happy almost St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, happy almost St. Patrick's Day. So for our, again, first-time viewers, tell us a little bit about you, Rebecca.
Sure. I am the owner and founder of Hicks Law Group. It's a boutique law firm based in Dallas. We handle cases mostly in the construction industry, and we're proud to represent quite a few minority and women-owned businesses.
What are the biggest challenges that you've seen in your practice with respect to the problems that some of your clients bring to you as it relates to construction or a minority-owned business or a woman-owned business?
Well, you know, what I see a lot of times, and this is with smaller businesses, period, is that there's just a lack of information. There's a lack of good information out there about legal rights and how to pursue them. And there's also a lot of misinformation about how to hire professionals that are right for you or your industry. And so one of the reasons why I was really excited to participate in this show is because we're helping to close that information gap.
Thank you. And it is. It's very, very tough. Our guest today, as we mentioned and we've been promoting, it is the state of black business in North Texas. And I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it truly is a privilege to have the individuals today sitting here that give us their insight, their valued experience of what they've seen. We have the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce and the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. And I'm going to start at the end and let them introduce themselves. We're going to start with Mr. Jennings, who is President and CEO of the Fort Worth Black Metropolitan Chamber. Dee, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Eddie. I'm really, really pleased to be here. I took your offer up as soon as you asked me. I am the president of the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber. I've been there about 10 years. And our organizations have actually been in existence since 1979, actually. So we're on our 35th year. The other thing I would tell you is that prior to that, I worked for the electric company. Most of you know it as Encore for about 28 years. And during the time that I worked there, I started being involved in economic development, and that's how I ended up at the Chamber of Commerce. We are an organization that advocates and educates. And our principles is education and economics. So we're located at 1150 South Freeway in Fort Worth from the corner of Rosedale and I-35 West. And we open from 9 to 5 and a lot of times from 9 to 9.
Thank you. My good friend, Mr. Kerry Gorey, who I've known for years, as many of you may know, that was at UNT for 10 years and able to establish a great relationship, a very warm professional relationship with Mr. Kerry Gorey. Certainly was on the front lines to see him and the challenges he faced. But Mr. Gorey, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate the invitation to sit down before you and to your audience to let them know about some of the challenges in the country today, 2014. As they say, I'm with the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm the chairman of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. I've held that position for the last 7 years and went up through the range from president to parliamentarian with the Black Chamber of Commerce. We started in 1995 as a small organization, getting together, knowing there were challenges, as there still are challenges out there for small business owners, minority business owner, where you're a woman business owner, or a black business owner or Asian business owner. And one of our goals is to try to help you go through those challenges, if you will, be able to cross those hurdles and know which directions to go. Whether it's insurance or whether it's economics or whether it's dealing with the city or the local government, those things are some of the challenges that business owners have to do. When I'm not in the role as the chairman of the Black Chamber, I am an insurance agent. I'm a local Denton State Farm agent. I've been in the insurance business with State Farm for 21 years. I've been in the insurance business for 40 years. So I do know a little bit about the insurance from the independent agency side or the agency side that we call what a State Farm is, a captive agent. And these are some of the expertise that I can bring, which is sometimes some of the biggest challenges are your insurance is to get you off the ground. Because most business owners know one thing, they know what they do. Some of the things they don't know is the things that keep them from doing what they do. So once again, I'm happy to be here to help answer any questions, to help some of you may maneuver through that fog, that cloud that's out there for you as a small business owner. Thank you again, Eddie.
You're welcome. And of course, last but not least, we have the president of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. Please, sir, tell us about you. I know about you as well, Reggie, so talk a little bit about you.
Well, after hearing all these introductions, such marvelous introductions here, I don't know what I can say, but I am grateful to be here. And I am the president of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. We've been in existence since 1995, with Kerry Gray, as also said. And been president for 7 years. I can say that everything Kerry says is totally correct. I've been in business since Lone Star Car Wash, full service car wash, since 1987. Full service car wash, detail cars. We do windshield repairs, and anything you name. We can do. We can wash boats, and airplanes, whatever you want. And just give us a call. But I've been in business, prior to that since.
What's the name of your business?
Lone Star Car Wash, Inc. And I also been in business prior to that, back in the mid-age, in the sanitation business. We had a sanitation business. So, I've been in business all my life. But I'm grateful to be here, ready to get started and do some education, get some education going on around here. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Reggie. And for our viewers to know that irregardless of the business that you may have, whether it's professional services or whether it's commodities, for example, Reggie at one time had the contract from UNT for the police cars, for the UNT police cars and other vehicles, and so I know that we work hard to get him to get that contract back. But just to give you an idea, so I don't want you to think necessarily that you have to be in construction or have a certain commodity to be able to do business with state agencies, because they do utilize a lot of services. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. Let's get started. So first of all, I do want to congratulate you, Kerry. You had a great event here last month, and that was your annual, tell us.
That was our 17th annual banquet. That's an opportunity for us to get with the sponsors, the people who help us, our sponsors, and not least, but the members and the community, to tell them thank you for supporting us, the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. At that time, we usually bring a speaker in, someone to talk about a topic that may be interesting to the audience. We've had speakers as minority business owners who've gone from dust, if you will, to industry, to start 2 or 3 100 employees to 2,000 or 3,000 employees. This year we brought an economist in to talk about the economics of 2014, 2015, not only for minorities, but just for the population in general. So that's our 17th annual banquet, and we're looking forward to the one next year, our 18th annual banquet.
I can tell you in 10 years I was at UNT, you guys grew. That's fabulous, and it's due to the leadership and the vision that you guys have embraced and practice and implement, and congratulations on a good event.
Thank you.
Dee, let me ask you, so I think all of us have been involved with some some type of organization or another, whether it be a chamber. And questions I was often asked as chairman or president of a different chamber is, why should I join your chamber? So the first question out of my box is going to be, why should, if I live in Fort Worth and I'm a minority business owner, why should I join the Metropolitan Black Chamber of Fort Worth?
Well, first of all, Chamber has an opportunity to help you because we are a membership organization, and membership organizations definitely can have its privileges. The privilege with our chamber in particular is business-to-business contact. Our chamber basically is a large economic development corporation in a sense of speaking, but at the same time we are your public relations arm. A lot of businesses do not have public relations in their budget, so we do that for you, and we do it very effectively, and we do it by doing a lot of things for you. Most of the time it's just the networking opportunities that are enjoyed in the chamber, because through networking your dollars become some net worth and dollars start making sense. So part of it is the educational part that we will help you get through various barriers. The other part of it is to look at us as an advocate. We advocate for chambers, from chamber members all the time. Different subdivisions of government, naturally, that's an easy one. But with private industry a lot of times, because a lot of times there are opportunities there that you don't know about. So sure, you can get the information, but we also can advocate for you, so you can have an opportunity to get the contract, or get the procurement, or get just exposure that you normally don't get because you are not involved in various circles. So looking at it holistically, the membership has its value, and we hope you can value the membership by what we supply you with.
Now, does the Metropolitan Chamber, do you have certain set meetings or certain set networking events that people could look into?
Certainly. First of all, I would ask you to go to our website, which is www.fwmbcc.org, and on that website there's a calendar which tells you about each of those events on a monthly opportunity, almost on a weekly opportunity, because there's something going on in our chamber every week. Those networking opportunities have value, and yes, we have Facebook, we have Tweet, we do all those social media things that most people would like to, Twitter as they say, like to be involved with.
What is that? I'm
You
just
gotta
kidding.
You gotta tweet nowadays.
I say tweet, I didn't
You
say
gotta
Twitter.
tweet nowadays.
I want you to do
Eddie,
that
you're
right.
gonna have to
No,
stick your toe in
I
that Twitter
know
water.
that. I know.
Twitter water, not turkey water. Okay?
Just so we're clear.
I just wink. That's what I do.
You don't tweet, okay. Well, you better start tweeting.
Carrie and Reggie, probably the same for you, but more in specifically in Denton. So why should I join the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce?
It's basically like DuBois said, we are your PR firm. We are your economic development wing of your business. In our chamber, as in any chamber, there are different resources that you as a business owner need to know. In our chamber, you have me, the insurance agent. You have Reggie, the entrepreneur, who's been in business all his life and coming from a family of business. You have our treasurer, who's a CPA. We have a judge on in our chamber. So with these different resources, you can come to us, a one-stop shopping. In sales, I learned years ago, to be a good salesman, you have to figure out how to work smart. And as a salesman, you could either try to sell 3,000 people your product by going to 3,000 people, or you can sell 3,000 people your product by going to a crowd of 3,000 people. So when you come to us as a chamber, you come into that crowd rather than going, let me go to the insurance agent and get some information. Let me go to a CPA and get some information. Let me go to a businessman and get some information. Let me go to an attorney and get some information. Why not come to us and the information is there right in front of you? We meet once a month on the second Tuesday of each month, where we share this information with you. We do the network, we do the seminars, we do some of the things that large chambers, not that they don't want to do, sometimes it's not their immediate goal, it's not their immediate mission to help small business owners. And how we do this, how to start a business. Even though you may have an idea to start a business, how do I start that business? We're there to help with the resources of starting that business. Well, wait a minute, how do I start a business with less than 100,000? That's another idea. Well, how do I start a business if I have over 100,000? First of all, you need to get to 100,000. Well, it's over under 100,000. How do I get that money? How do I deal with my bankers? And the bankers, those industry companies, those resources, believe it or not, they sometimes be the path to our doors because they want to do business with you sometimes more than you think they want to do business with you. So
That's a good
we
point.
know a lot of these individuals. As I say, we know the bankers, we know the CEOs and the heads of certain corporations. We know the presidents of the university. We know the industry that's out there in my community in Denton. So we know the mayor, we know the city council. Denton, as Eddie knows, a very small town, small in about 180,000 people, but we do have our hands on the pulse of Denton. And so if you want to get your hard work, come to us because our hand is on that pulse.
Is there a website where folks can go and look and find information about your chamber?
Sure, you can go to www.dentonblackchamberonline.org. And we do Facebook, and we do stick our toe in the Twitter as well. So definitely, come visit us at any time. As I say, the second Tuesday of every week, and we meet at the Denton Housing Authority, which is directly across the street from the Denton Martin Luther King Center.
You are watching Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes, and we're going to have to cut away for a minute or two, so give you a chance to warm up your coffee. Come on back, and we'll be right back after these few messages. Don't go away.
I'm Katrina Wade Miller, Associate Director of the North Texas Small Business Development Center. I always watch Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on InTheMixLive.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Langford, Executive Director of the North Texas Small Business Development Center, and I always watch Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on InTheMixLive.com.
Nigel Redmond live on InTheMixLive.com, watching Eddie Reyes in action on Diversity in Action. If you're not watching this show, what are you watching?
And we're back. Thank you so much again for joining us this morning. You are watching Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes and my co-host, Ms. Rebecca Hicks. We are obviously on www.inthemixlive.com. We're here live every Saturday at 10 o'clock. We do rebroadcast the show, the program, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. and every Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So please tell your friends, watch us. Once again, we bring you topics and information to arm you to make the right decisions for you in starting a business, where to go, what to do, who do I talk to. Once again, there's a lot of great ideas, but how do you generate that idea? How do you turn that idea into action? So we've got some guest speakers that are going to tell you exactly how to do that with a wealth of experience, a wealth of a network here that we have this morning. Once again, our guests are Mr. Jennings. He is President and CEO of the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Kerry Gorey, who is Chairman of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce, and Reggie, who is the President of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. Gentlemen, give us some perspective. What have you seen over the years in terms of improvement? Have more doors open for black business owners? Has the lending become a little more flexible? Tell us your experience and what you've seen in your years with the chamber, please. Dee?
I would say to you that it's really been somewhat difficult. It's a mixed bag. It depends on sometimes the industry that you're in. The problem that we have that often face a lot of our constituents is funding. It's just simple being able to get the money to be in business. And it's been difficult, especially since the downturn. Banks are flourishing with money. Some are making loans, some are making opportunities to happen very slowly. One thing that we did in the Fort Worth area, we discovered a long time ago that there need to be alternative banking and funding operations, and our chamber created an entity called the William Mann Community Development Corporation. The reason for that is because we had folks who needed $500 loans to $100,000, then $100,000 to $500,000. And developing the William Mann CDC, we are able to make those very small loans to those startup businesses that basically have various issues in getting started. One of the new twists that we have done with the William Mann CDC is start looking at using contractors' receivables as an opportunity to make them loans. Tying that receivable into a loan so they can get what you call mobilization money or startup money for different accounts that they have. We believe that this is an alternative way of funding. We think it'll be successful, especially with our small contractors. The construction business in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is flourishing now, have been for a year or two anyway. Even in the downturn, construction wasn't completely flat around in the Metroplex. So funding is an issue. It always has been an issue, so that's one opportunity for us to do something about it. The other is just advocacy, period, and we begin to advocate in various different ways.
Carrie, have you seen some changes? What changes have you seen in the last 9 years you've been as chairman of the chamber? And have you seen it be more embracing, more receptive, or has it changed much at all?
There has been change in the industry out there. A lot of the change, some of it is encouraging and some of it is not. The most doors that are open are probably in education. Then the doors that are open are maybe in medicine. The doors are open in maybe in retail. But the doors are not as open as quickly, or there's not enough lubrication on the hinges of the doors in construction. Some of those type services, building, bridges, roads, those services, where now that's where a lot of the big bucks are flowing. So where there's opportunity that wasn't for us, and with the medicine, with the retail, with the services, whether I want to be a CPA or those type of, if you will, white collar jobs are now open, but now those blue collar jobs that we didn't see 25, 30 years ago as the opportunity, those are the doors. They are open, but they're not lubricated enough for us to get through those doors. And what's stopping us is the funding. What's stopping us is the certification. What's stopping us are the resources to get through those doors. And that starts sometime at the lower educational level. That means starting more vocational schools for the youth. That's starting more trade schools. That's going to be where major corporations need to start giving grants to community colleges, or the school districts need to find some kind of scholarship programs where we can encourage our young children to get back into that type of business, because those are where the dollars are. The country is growing. It's not going to stop growing. And people, of course, the medicine, those fields are good because people are not going to start getting sick. But we need to get into those that heavy construction business, because those are where the dollars are right now.
Well, go ahead, Rex.
I was going to say, tell some people saying that's very true. If we got to train the person, especially a young child or a person, at high school age, in college, especially in the community colleges, those are the jobs we need to tackle. Or the blue collar, the carpentry work, the automotive type work. Those are the jobs they need to learn. That's the end thing now, and we got to use education, us as chamber members or just the community involved, to let these kids know that, hey, that's another avenue. And all the hub contracts and all these contracts that's going on in the state or the nation, these are the jobs that we got to let them know. this is the new future. And that, we gotta. It's like the family raise a village or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we gotta do that. Yeah, we gotta let them know. So education, let them know what's going on. Let them know that avenue is also a good avenue. And we just try to advance these young ladies and men to take over these jobs and start working and get them going.
Let me ask y'all, both of y'all, all three of you specifically. I did some research and noticed that in the U.S. Department of Commerce, the Minority Business Development Agency came out with a survey, and they found that on average, a credit score for a woman-owned business or to start a business for a female was 608. That's the average credit score. Now, credit, of course, is the anchor of everything from launching a business, because you're going to need it for bonding, you're going to need it for loans, you're going to be. So do y'all have programs? Do y'all collaborate with other agencies to address that when needed? And part of that, I think, has to be trust. Because if I come in, of course, I'm embarrassed if my credit's not good, but I want to start my business. So making potential members or your members feel warm, feel accepted, that they're able to be honest with you. I mean, those are all obviously challenges, but equally the biggest one, I think, is credit. So do y'all have programs in place? Do y'all collaborate with other agencies to address that? To me, it's the biggest challenge.
Mr. Corey, I'll let you take that one. You're in the insurance business, and that's part of bonding.
Credit gives looked at, but still credit could be another hurdle that's put out there to keep a small business owner down. We work with banks and hoping they are following through with their community reinvestment ideals and goals, so we can help small business owners overcome that obstacle. Now, most small business owners are going to have usually a low credit score because oftentimes they've given up their day job, which was that cash flow job. And so now you're starting from scratch. Usually you're starting with could be seen as a one household working person in that household. So we see it as a challenge, but it's only a work in progress that we know we can overcome that. And most businesses and most corporations, they look at that, but that's not the only thing that they look at. They want to know. The credit is really telling potential contract procurement departments, are you going to be able to fulfill this contract? I can give you a contract, but are you going to have the dollars to get the equipment? Are you going to have the dollars to go out and find the employees? Are you going to have the dollars to keep your premise of operation going? And what we want to do as a chamber, through our resources, to our collaboration, work together to help you get those resources. It is a challenge, though, but it's not something that can be overcome.
You are watching Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. So get you that fresh cup of coffee while we get ours. And we'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks so much for watching this morning.
I always listen to Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on InTheMixLive.com.
Listen to Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on InTheMixLive.com.
Associate Director of the North Texas Small Business Development Center. I I always watch Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on InTheMixLive.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Langford, Executive Director of the North Texas Small Business Development Center, and I always watch Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on InTheMixLive.com.
Hello, my name is Dr. Diane Sanchez, founder and president of DAS HR Consulting, and I always listen to Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on InTheMixLive.com. So please join us for this fabulous show every Saturday at 10 a.m.
We watch Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes every Saturday morning.
And we are back. Welcome to Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes and my co-host, Ms. Rebecca Hicks. Rebecca, you deal with a lot of, especially small businesses, but minority groups. Now, have you found in your practice that a lot of them are members of chambers? Are they members of other entities that can help them grow their business?
Absolutely. Most of the clients that I work with are members of different chambers of commerce, as well as, for example, the DFW Minority Supplier Diversity Council or the Women's Business Council. Those types of organizations can be very, very helpful. And just the educational aspects alone of what you get from those types of organizations is immeasurable. And I think these chambers, what they've articulated is they're doing a lot of educational work as well.
Yes, they do. And you have to. One of the things that I was always asked, for example, we started a Hispanic chamber in Grand Prairie. So I always ask, constantly, why do we need a Hispanic chamber in Grand Prairie? Because there's only one chamber there, of course. What do you expect? Those questions are going to pop up. But yeah, a lot of that, I believe, is until you walk in your shoes. I mean, there's a culture difference. And so I know that y'all are well established. But have y'all encountered that? Have y'all been approached maybe and say maybe creating just one chamber in Fort Worth or one chamber in Denton?
Years ago, when I was chairman of the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber, I had a discussion with the chairman of the Fort Worth Chamber of Commerce. He took me to a place called the Fort Worth Club, which was the inner sanctum back in the day. And going to the Fort Worth Club, he had a couple of his board members, and they asked me, DY Black Chamber. And a guy was named Terry Grant. I said, Terry, why you asked that? He said, well, we want to know why Black Chamber. I said, well, how many chambers do you have? He said, well, we have a Fort Worth chamber. I said, and he said, well, we have 4 area chambers and a downtown chamber. I said, why do you have 4 area chambers? Because those folks in those areas are closer to those chambers than we are from downtown. And they have a specific need in those areas that we may not see because we're downtown. And they know the people because they're closer to the ground. And they got the ears that because we're downtown. So I asked them, I said, well, why don't you treat the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber and Hispanic Chamber like you treat your area chambers, and we can all be downtown. The bottom line of that is that the downtown interests, probably the board members in particular, will not and cannot have the interest that we have as an African American chamber. When you get to the area of advocacy, that's an easy one to take on. When we ask them for 20 or 25% of a contract, the majority chamber is not going to be in favor a lot of times of that happening, or even more. So they cannot advocate for us as well as we can advocate for ourselves. So the bottom line is that we rather advocate for ourselves. We can go out and fish for ourselves because a lot of times we have to fish for ourselves because the situation is such that it's already stacked against you. So if you don't have a chamber that advocates for you, and you know that the larger majority chamber really can't do it because of its board members, you need African American, Hispanic, Asian, and other chambers.
Now, Reggie, one would say that Denton is small enough that there really is no need for all these other chambers, because I do know that Denton has a Black and Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. How would you address that? How would you answer that and say, yeah, we do need a Black chamber in Denton because it is considered a small town? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we do need a minority, Black, Hispanic chamber, the Asian chambers, everything, because the bigger chambers, I guess they facilitate mainly big business, big contracts, and everything. So we could do the same for them, but through education again. We're back to education, networking, and all that, and we have the ways of doing that better than them because as the workload they have, the workload they have, and once they understand, we all understand that that's the best way of getting it going. That's how we get this thing going. But DeVore just explained the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I agree with everything he's saying though. But it's back to education, back to us doing the groundwork, and the networking and all this stuff, and we could reach out to in the culture aspect, which you just discussed just a while ago. We understand each other better. We could network each other better. And getting your sleeves out, and just roll them up and let people know and get it going. That's fine.
Carrie?
We get that question asked almost at every one of our large events, whether it's our annual blues festival that we give in September, where it's at the seminars we give, whether it's at our banquet. Why is there a need for a Black chamber? There's the Denton chamber, which we call in Denton the large chamber. In the church, in the Christian church, why are there a need for different denominations of the Christian church? Why do we need Methodists? Why do we need Catholic? Why do we need Presbyterian? Why do we need all these different churches? If it's the Christianity, it's the same thing. Each chamber has their own goals. Each chamber has their own mission. As Richard said, the big chamber, as we call it, Denton chamber, their goal is to bring big industry. Their goal is to negotiate that revenue stream for the community, for the tax base. Their goal is not to help small business. Not that they don't want to. It's not their goal. It's not their mission. It's not a part of their program to have a program to help up and coming business owners. So that's where we do. We are there to assist those large chambers and to say, let us help these small business owners become a resource to you. And the bigger chambers are not the ones who are asking those questions. Those are the the question that being asked from people in the community, because the bigger chambers really welcome our assistance there to help them to do some of the things they would like to do, but unfortunately they don't have the resources, or that's not their goal to develop that type of resource. Of course, most of the big chambers do have a small business administration department where you can go in, they can help you fill out grants, and they can help you know how to do a certification, or you can do a little networking, but that's a small department. This is our full-time job, is to help the small business owner crawl and then to walk, and realizing that sometimes walking is not as easy as crawling, so let's crawl some more and then we walk some more and then we'll get through this together. That's our goal. That's what we do. We wake up doing that and we go to sleep doing that, and we think about you more and more, you, that member in the community. Where the larger chambers are sometimes bringing business to the community. Our goal is to uplift that community, the business owner in our community.
Go ahead, Rick.
And we don't want to be a chamber saying, well, we got your money, and good luck, hit the street. And like Kerry said, and DeVore also, we want to be inclusive. We'll let you know that, we'll let our members know, say, we're here for you. You can ask any questions. Our chamber, I tell our members, say, if you have a problem or any questions or anything you need to know, you can always call myself, Kerry Goree, John Baines, treasurer, and just any of us, if you have a problem. We're hands-on. We're a hands-on organization.
Well, and I think that culturally there are the network that y'all have in the community, the gatekeepers, that is that y'all can go to the black churches. Mm-hmm. Y'all can get the word out to the membership. They trust you. That trust is there. Cultural and traditions, you don't see, for the lack of a better term, white chamber celebrating Juneteenth. You don't see that. So that's the importance of keeping those traditions and that culture alive, and it is about educating the youngers that are coming up, because that is part of us, our own particular culture, and that's why we need the variety of chambers. I mean, there's even an all-women's chamber of commerce in Tarrant County. Exactly. But I think one of the things that we encountered in Grand Prairie was that they found us as competition, because we all go for that same philanthropic dollar that they're going to, and they sure don't like that. They don't like that at all. And so there's a lot more value in what we bring, because we are about cultural intelligence. It's not just a certain way of doing business. How do you sell to Hispanics? Do you call them Latinos or do you call them Hispanics? How do you sell to the African American community? And which generation are you selling to? I mean, those are important programs that that y'all bring in, that y'all can say, this is, if you want to get into the African American community, I recommend you try this marketing strategy. They can't get that from other chambers. They cannot get that. So, go ahead.
As well, Eddie, who's going to advocate to you to more than your local government? Who's going to go to the state level for you? You just as a small business owner can't go to a state level. DeVore and I was last year down in Austin at the Red Letter Day in the state of Texas. Over the last 3 or 4 years, the state of Texas has giving $15 billion in contracts from state agencies. African American business owners has only received probably 1.63% of $15 billion. Who's going to go down and sit with the senators? Who's going to sit with the congressmen and say, hey, let's address this. This is an issue that we need to put on the table. We need to address this. So last year in September, we were down there with the state senators, and there was a letter they signing as a memorandum of corporation where you had 15 state agencies sign this corporation, say, we're going to listen to you. We're going to do business with you, from the State Department of College and the University, State Department of Prisons, the State Department of Insurance, the State Department of Parks and Recreation. these are the things that we, and not only on the state level, the African American chambers are going to go to the national level. We're just not local chambers, we're part of a state chamber. There are 22 black chambers of commerce in the state of Texas. And there are also, we're part of a national chamber. There's a national chamber of commerce. So we work not only from the local area, advocating from you, to the state level, the county level. Who are going to go to those individuals and say, and say, hey, what are your minority goals? What are your goals? What are your goals? Tell us your goals. Do you have any goals? And believe it or not, some of them don't. So we're the ones who are going to call them to the table. And they can hurt you as an individual, but it's going to take more than that to hurt an organization as a local chamber, or as part of a state chamber, or part of a national chamber. That's one of the reasons we're there, to fight.
It's the advocacy role.
Hold that thought, Mr. Jennings. We have to take a quick break. You are watching Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes. We'll come right back to you, Dee. Get your refresher coffee, and we'll be right back after this few messages.
My name is Stephanie Mitchell, and I always watch Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes on InTheMixLive.com.
Hello, my name is Anthony Island, and if you want to be informed and entertained, then please watch Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes on InTheMixLive.com.
I'm Rebecca Edwards, and if you want to be educated and informed, watch Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes on InTheMixLive.com.
Nigel Redmond live on InTheMixLive.com, watching Eddie Reyes in action on Diversity in Action. If you're not watching this show, what are you watching?
And we are back. Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes. My co-host, Ms. Rebecca Hicks.
Some
You know
good
what?
information today.
Yes, it was. Yes, it is. By the way, I failed to mention, we took a break last weekend. We did show a rerun or two. As you well know, we're trying real hard not to be like John McKay or Gloria Campos. We are just like you, just bringing you information, disseminating information to help you. So we do take breaks. We don't have contracts here like John McKay, huh? So we did take a break. We did show a rerun. It was intellectual property. We had Danica Mathis on last September. She was excellent, and so we had a lot of requests to show that, to rebroadcast that show, so we did. But here we are back this week, and once again, our guest speakers are the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce and the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. Dee, you started to say something as we were talking about as we cut away for the break.
Yeah, I was going to further elaborate on Mr. Gorey's point of advocacy. An example of why you need a ethnic chamber, and one example in Fort Worth, is that it's the advocacy role that we play. The Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber is one of the few chambers that was able to put an MWBE ordinance attached to the tax abatement. And what I'm speaking of, that if you have a tax abatement opportunity in Fort Worth, you also have an opportunity to have at least 25% of that business going to an MWBE, and anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15% of the employees to be drawn from the inner city or at-risk groups. Well, if we were not able to put that as a caveat on that ordinance, what was happening in Fort Worth, people were getting tax abatements, people were hiring people from which they came sometimes, and none of those dollars were being left in the African American community. What we look at is taxation without representation. That's what it ends up being. The second example of that, of advocacy, is with the North Texas Toll Authority. I was chairman of a MWBE committee for about 4 years, and when we first went over there, there was no disparity study. The disparity study came out, things were really bad. They were doing less than 1%. In 4 years, we're doing 25% or better. Mr. Gorey is part of that committee now. John is part of it. Martinez, the chairman of the Hispanic Contractors Association. If it wasn't for that advocacy, the NTTA organization probably would not have the amount of contractors, MWBEs, doing business, and like Gorey mentioned, road work in the whole region that's going on now. You cannot expect the majority chambers to advocate for you to get in that business.
Yeah, the North Texas, what is that? economic agency, in the next 5 years, there's going to be $68 billion spent on transportation, just in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yes.
That's a lot of money. And for our viewers to understand, what we're talking about is why should the tollway concern you? Why should doing business? Because it goes beyond just pouring the concrete or pouring the asphalt or striping. You have janitorial. You have landscaping, which is very big. Who plants the trees? Who plants the grass? Who mows it? So those are contracts that are there that, unless you're aware about, that these two chambers will bring you that type of information and make you aware. Above and beyond making you aware, they put you in contact with the right person. That's always so critically important, is finding who do I need to talk to do business with, TWU or the City of Fort Worth or NTTA. That's what's key, because at one time that was completely shut out. We just didn't know who do we talk to. So what these chambers do in that great work is find those gatekeepers, and they open those doors for you. The other side of that is you have to be prepared to do business. So can you deliver? Here you've got these two chambers advocating for you, and they get you in the door. Can you deliver? So this is where the chambers help you elevate your business, elevate your game, to be sure to ensure that you can deliver. Because the last thing they want is to be embarrassed by any of their members to say, okay, I can get in there, and then they can't deliver. So one of the things that they do, they advise you, they guide you, they'll tell you maybe you're not ready yet, or let's go here. The other things that they do, and they've been too modest to mention, they do partnerships. They do like mentor proteges, where they can find a larger contractor and take you under their wing, where if you don't know about how to market or how to tweet or social media or how to form how to fill out a bid. That's what they do. They're excellent. And that you can go in there and gain their full trust, and they gain yours. And this is what it really opens the door, because it is about relationships. So what is the future for both chambers? Where do y'all see, where do you envision 5 years from now? Do you see the growing, the potential, the need? I know the need is there, but Dee, talk about what y'all see for the next 5 years for the chamber.
We see nothing but open opportunity. This region in Fort Worth in particular had a unemployment rate of 5.3%. That's tremendous. The national rate is 6.7, and Texas is even higher. So the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber has an opportunity to not only service Fort Worth, but we're going to look at putting the metropolitan into our name and going out to the suburban areas of Fort Worth, which we actually did 30 years ago by putting it in a name, knowing that it would grow. And now that the growth is here, we have a lot of opportunities in the suburban areas of Fort Worth, and we're going to branch out into those areas and coalesce with the existing organizations that are out there. And if they don't have chambers, we're going to offer our services. So we see nothing but growth.
Carrie?
Saying we see nothing but opportunity, because that's all it is opportunity. And to help us reach those goals, one of our bigger goals is that mentoring you were speaking of, trying to bring those young individuals in. Young don't necessarily mean, when I say young, I don't mean necessarily young in your age, but maybe young in the business that you're doing, trying to bring those organizations in. We also see ourselves working very closely with the city government of the Denton area to make sure that when the big chamber is negotiating those contracts with those big corporations that come into Denton, there are goals for those contractors, those big business owners coming there, whether they're the Peterbilt, whether they're the Target just came to Denton, whether they're the schools, that there must be some type of goals for minority business owners in your program. Not only tax rebasement, but there should be some hiring goals, whether it's in the lower level or whether it's an administrative level, those goals, because there's a big percentage of the community that's working for you, that's paying those tax dollars, that allowing you to do business. If it's 5%, then we need to see 5% of our individuals doing those type of services. If they're 15%, we need to see 15%. We need to see 50% in the service. We need to see 50% in administrative area. We want that equal representation.
One of the things for our viewers to know quickly, because we are running out of time, is that it's much more detailed than saying, for example, University of North Texas, how much business are they doing with minority-owned firms? Our viewers need to know that the way they break it down, the way the state breaks it down, is that they do it by categories. So when you ask them how much business are they doing with minority-owned companies or women-owned companies, you have to be a little bit more specific because they do have different goals. For example, if you're in construction, the University of North Texas has a goal of what they're supposed to meet in terms of doing business in construction. Same thing for commodities or professional services. If you're an attorney or CPA, special trades, if you're a plumber, electrician. So there are different categories, and this is once again where the chamber can educate you and inform you. So if you do come in and say, hey, I got a great picante sauce, who do I talk to at UNT where they'll carry my picante sauce, right? Or the director of dining services. I mean, there are opportunities. Don't ever discount yourself, your business, your idea about getting into whether it's with the city, whether it's the state, local governments, DART, DFW Airport. These two individuals have a network that they can open those doors so that you talk to those agencies and have a shot at bidding and getting some work. This is what they work so hard to do on your behalf. So we are coming to an end. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so preachy. I just know how hard y'all work to open those doors. So last few comments before we go. Dee, thank you very much for being here. So please, last few comments.
Well, thank you, Eddie, for the opportunity. As we say in Fort Worth, onward and upward, and that's the area that we're going to go into. We would like to encourage you to look at our website again, www.fwmbcc.org, or call 817-871-6538 to find out more about the chamber.
Kerry?
Thank you for allowing us to be here. I don't want you to think that the chambers can be all for you or fix all for you. It's going to take you, the community out there, to come and join the chambers to bring your resources to us to help us grow. Many people say, if I join the chamber, what am I getting out of it? If you join a chamber, what are we getting out of you, which is very important. How can you help us grow? One thing is joining an organization, seeing it's not doing good or the way you want to do, then leaving it. It's better for you to join in. If you see it's going in a different direction, help us go in the right direction. We welcome you as members.
Can you reiterate your website for our viewers?
Our website is www.dentonblackchamberonline.org.
Okay. Reggie, any last words?
And last but not least, everything sounds so great. I enjoy being here. Just having a great time. One thing I gotta say is three things. We're gonna education, networking, and advancement. I want everybody. I love to see the whole world reach, any person reach the highest level, and that's what our aim is, and that's what we need to uphold. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Reggie. Rebecca, any last words?
No, thank you guys for being here, and I'm telling you what, I want to find out about the Blues Festival, so I'm going to have to ask about that and attend that.
Third weekend in September, always standing date.
Okay. You've been watching Diversity in Action. Next week, we're going to talk about blogging and possibly how you can make some money and the importance of blogging. I can't even spell it, but I'm going to learn next week. So please join us then. It could be something that perhaps you can create your own business out of that. Once again, you're watching Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes and my co-host with Rebecca Hicks. And we'll see you next Saturday. Please tune in. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.
my name is Kerry Gorey, and I'm with the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm the chairman of the board, and I always watch Diversity in Action with my friend Eddie Reyes.
Hello, my name is DeVar Jennings. I'm the president of the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce. I always listen to Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes on InTheMixLive.com. I got you.
Hello, my name is Reggie Hill, the president of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. I always watch Diversity in Action with Eddie Reyes on InTheMixLive.com.